Hello, I'm Chaz, and this is Con, and this is our review of the ASICS Megablast. Hope you enjoy it. ASICS Megablast specs and features. And yes, I'm doing this specs and features for my car because I literally just picked these up from Charlotte Running Company, Mooresville. They got them in early, they let me know, and yeah, I got one in my size. And it's in the nice, clean, white colorway. I gotta do it now because once I run in them, this colorway won't look so clean. So yeah, I haven't weighed them yet, obviously, because I just got them from the store, but I will put the weight in a separate clip right here. My left shoe weighs 242 grams or 8.5 ounces. The right shoe weighs 238 grams or 8.4 ounces. Looking at this upper, it is a very thin, looks like to be breathable, lightweight upper, thinner even than the Superblast upper. It's almost like a race-like upper with a very similar tongue, but there is some padding around the outside of that to avoid the lace bite. And we have the sawtooth laces like you're going to find on a lot of the racing models. So that passes the test. It is a gusseted tongue as well. The sock liner is fully removable. We have a pretty rigid heel counter here with a nice pull tab on the heel, and having tried it on the store, I think the pull tab is going to be very functional. It's true to size for me. I don't foresee any hot spots or really having to cinch it up too tight or anything. Outsole. ASICS grip outsole on all of the areas you would expect it. It's pretty much the same outsole coverage as you get in any Blast shoe, like the Nova Blast or the Superblast. Now the Sonic Blast I think has a hole there so that you can see the plate, but there's no plate in the Megablast. And this looks like it's going to be better grip than the Nova Blast. We'll see if I run in the rain. And with a white shoe and I run in the rain, it's not going to stay white. But the midsole is where the magic is, and this is the Flight Foam Turbo Squared. We have the superscript on the 2 there, so it's not 2, it is squared. And it is an aliphatic TPU. And having only run a couple of strides inside the running store, I can say that it's bouncy. It's not soft bouncy, it's firm bouncy, but not quite as firm as the Superblast 2 is. I think it's going to be really fun. I think this shoe is going to be everything that the Superblast was not for me. 45 millimeters in the heel, 8 millimeter drop. So what's that bring us to? Like 37 in the forefoot, something like that. So it is a super stack shoe. I plan on getting some good running in with this shoe this week, and then maybe even during the Blue Ridge Relay, since I'm on an ultra team, some of the longer legs or downhill legs, I'm just going to bomb down in this. Can't wait to get it on the road, and I will see you guys there. So this is going to be really my second run, or maybe third run, in the ASICS Megablast. The first run was yesterday as my warm-up before my 3K time trial. That was on another video. And I guess I did it for my cool down too. You could count that as a second run. But today I'm gonna do a hilly 8 miles. I'll probably do a little warm-up before that as well. And I'm gonna do it at kind of a race pace to prepare for the Blue Ridge Relay. And if you've been watching any of my videos lately, I've done this run a few times to prepare for that relay, and it's actually kind of becoming one of my favorite routes, one of my favorite workouts. But it will be a good test for this shoe because I'll be getting to some high paces, some hilly terrain, and some good time on foot. So I'll talk to you after that. All right, so not my first run, but my first real effort done in the Megablast. I did the same, oh, it's really loud now. I did the same 8+ mile route with a lot of hills that I've been doing to train for Blue Ridge Relay. And these things really performed for me. I have better weather than I've had in the past couple of weeks. It's nice and cool for August. And I had company, I had Chris Rowley with me, and he is an elite American ultra runner, competitive ultra runner. So this was kind of his base pace, but I was 20 seconds per mile faster over that route than I've been in shoes like the Hoka Cielo X 2.0 and the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. A lot of that's the weather, a lot of that's the company, but these things felt really great. I maintained a 6:36 average over that route, which is almost as fast as marathon pace, and I was definitely still conversational. Really great on the downhills, a lot better than expected on the uphills. Of course, it's good on the flats. Yeah, I want to put together some more runs in this shoe, and we will be talking more. Good morning. So I've just finished a long run in the ASICS Megablast, and it was about 16.25 miles, 2 hours, 10 minutes on foot. So about an 8-minute pace. That's just a base training pace. This was after a combined 14 miles yesterday. So I felt like I got a good idea of how they felt on kind of fatigued legs for a long run. And yeah, this shoe is legit, man. This shoe, I think, is going to be capable of all types of runs. But I will get into that when I do a shoe talk later. Okay, it's a lovely morning for a shoe off. I have the ASICS Megablast here, and kind of an eclectic mix of shoes that I'll be comparing it with. I have the Mizuno Neo Zen, the Adidas Adizero Evo SL, the Topo Specter 2, the Brooks Hyperion Max 3, the Hoka Cielo X1, and the Adidas Prime X Strung 1. On the left side, I have shoes with a single density midsole that could be versatile one shoe rotations, sort of like the Megablast. And on the right side, I've got Super Stack Super Trainers that are also kind of like the Megablast in a way. All right, Mizuno Neo Zen and ASICS Megablast. This might seem like a mismatch, but both of these shoes have a single density midsole, and they're both fairly versatile. I think the Megablast is more versatile. At these easy recovery paces, the Neo Zen is more bouncy, more comfortable. I think it's a shoe that's more approachable if you're already on tired legs, although the Megablast is good for that too. However, if I pick it up just a little bit, go to more of a base pace or something steezy or approaching marathon pace, the Megablast seems a lot more natural and a lot more propulsive. It's more expensive, but I think the versatility makes up for a lot of that. A lot of people might use the Neo Zen as their one shoe fits all kind of shoe. And if you're one of those people and like that really soft and bouncy, well, it's not ATPU, it is a supercritical TPU, then yeah, save some money. But I think most people are going to find a lot more versatility out of the Megablast. Adidas Evo SL on the right foot and the ASICS Megablast on the left foot. Both of these shoes would be a really good one shoe rotation. They can both do it all. If you're familiar with the Evo SL or with the older version of the Light Strike Pro foam, then you might know that it takes a few runs to open up and hit the sweet spot. You know, maybe 20 to 30 miles, 35 to 50 kilometers. I'm in the sweet spot with my Evo SL right now. They feel really good. The Megablast feels like a super Evo SL. Like it can do all the things it can do, but it's just more. And it's not that much heavier, actually. Come to think of it, since it has more midsole and it's a little bit less flexible, still has some flex, then it holds its shape a little bit better, and the geometry works well for my stride. So it's maybe a little bit more secure for a long run. If I were running 20 miles, I could do that in either of these shoes. After about 15 miles in the Evo SL, I'd be thinking, ooh, I'm feeling this a little bit. In the Megablast, I think it would still be going strong. And the Megablast feels great right out of the box. At least it did for me. Topo Specter 2 and the ASICS Megablast. there are significant differences in stack heights in these shoes. The Specter 2, I think, is 37 in the heel, 32 in the forefoot. That might be a millimeter off. Megablast is 45, 38, or 45, 37. But the Topo Specter 2 is my go-to suitcase shoe, my one shoe rotation, if I were ever to have a one shoe rotation. That's just not me. It also caters more to my forefoot strike. I really feel that bound off the forefoot. However, with the Megablast and all that stack, the way the flight foam squared foam works with the whole blast shoe setup, this is the first real blast shoe where I can feel that advertised trampoline effect off the forefoot. So even though I wouldn't say this shoe is designed to cater to forefoot runners, I would say it suits forefoot runners just as well as it would any rear foot striker, midfoot striker. And it's a more pleasurable experience. It's also $60 more expensive in the US. And you gotta ask yourself, is this shoe 40% better than the Topo Specter 2? So, and that's gonna be a recurring theme with a lot of these. All right, now I have the ASICS Megablast on my right foot and the Brooks Hyperion Max on the left. And these shoes are similar when it comes to stack height, at least in the rear foot, but the underfoot experience is very, very different. The Megablast does not have a plate, and I like that about it, actually. It doesn't need a plate. There's enough midsole there that it holds its form really nicely, and the midsole, while responsive, is firm enough and resilient enough so that it doesn't get all cushy and wobbly when you don't want it to. The Hyperion Max 3 is a more stable shoe. It has that stabilizing plate in there. But as I said in my Hyperion Max 3 review, which you should go watch, I don't know that the two foams, the dual density system, work all that well together. It is a more stable shoe, but that's about the only thing it has going over the Megablast. And the Megablast is not unstable, at least not for me. I'm a smaller guy. Maybe a bigger guy might want more stability, but a bigger guy might also get more bounce from the foam, and I get plenty of bounce. The Megablast is more expensive, but they're both expensive shoes. I think if stability is more important, get the Brooks, but I get a better experience underfoot from the Megablast. All right, now I'm comparing the ASICS Megablast with the Hoka Cielo X1. The Cielo X1, for me, and like many runners, is a racing shoe that ended up being a super training shoe instead of a racing shoe, mainly because it was bulky for a racer, fun to run in, could last a while, stable for a racer. The second version is a little bit more race oriented. But these two shoes I would use for similar purposes, although I think I would take the Megablast out for some of my daily runs too. And the Cielo X1 might be a little overkill for that. The Megablast, having a super quality foam, no plate, but plenty of resilience and plenty of stability in it, just can do it all. If I were to race a road ultra, like a hard road 50K, maybe even up to 50 milers, I could take either one of these shoes, assuming World Athletics limitations didn't apply to me, because the Megablast is technically illegal. But the Megablast feels a little more secure than the Cielo X1. The Cielo X1 is still a little bit more bouncy because of that big dual density Piba midsole with that carbon plate. But versatility wise and availability wise, I mean, the Megablast is the clear choice. Okay, last one, ASICS Megablast and Adidas Out of Zero Prime X Strung, the first version. And when we're talking about super stack trainers or racer trainers, I think we can all agree that the Prime X Strung 1 did it first and best. And it's still super fun. However, the Megablast, I think, is just about as fun, but so much more utilitarian. I like running in the Prime X Strung, but there's no particular training run where I'm gonna say the Prime X Strung is going to be my choice for this, because it's more like I just want to have some fun time on foot. And a lot of that has to do with the instability of the Prime X Strung. Also, it's just not specific to any of the other training needs and training shoes that I use. Whereas the Megablast, I've been talking this whole time about its versatility. I think this is the utilitarian Prime X, and it's cheaper than new versions of the Prime X. I'm still gonna keep the Prime X Strung around because, you know, I love it. I don't know if I'll get it to 1,000 miles like Andrew Poza is, but we'll see. Well, according to Heidi, Khan was hearing me do my shoe off outside the house, and he wanted to come out and join because he was just getting a little too excited. So here's your chance to say hi to Khan. What do you think, Khan boy? Megablast, Prime X Strung? Oh, he turned toward the Megablast. Okay, let's have a shoe talk about the ASICS Megablast. There's a lot I could say about this shoe, so I'm gonna try and keep it short. This shoe really could be a one shoe rotation. I've said that a lot already, and I know a lot of people hear that phrase, one shoe rotation, and they'll kind of look sideways at it and say, okay, yeah, it can do everything, but does it do everything well? And in this shoe, I would say, yeah, it does everything pretty well. Now, I will say that doing short, fast intervals like 200s and 300s, which I did do in this shoe, does feel a little weird. I mean, it's maybe not the most appropriate shoe for that, but it can do that in a pinch. Doing a long run, obviously, is going to be a perfect choice for that. A long run with pace, just as good. I've done some race pace efforts in this shoe. It would be great for that. It would lead me to believe that it would be good for tempo efforts as well. This midsole compound, Flight Foam Turbo Squared, is I don't want to say it's a game changer because so many foams are game changers these days, but it is the foam that can do everything. It is resilient, compliant and resilient, but it has a very quick response. So there is a nice firmness to it that is still very inviting. It's what I wanted the Superblast to be. Now, I'll have to talk about the elephant in the room, or the elephant that's not in the room. I did not use the Superblast or the Superblast 2 in my shoe off because I no longer have that shoe. I sold my Superblast 2. The Superblast 2 just did not end up being the super shoe, the super training shoe that I wanted it to be. Really, this is the Superblast that I wanted it to be. I had heard tell that ASICS took this Flight Foam Turbo Squared compound and put it in a Superblast mold and had some of their athletes try it out. This could be a rumor. And the athletes just thought it was amazing. And ASICS got the idea of saying, well, maybe we can make a whole new shoe out of just this and charge more money for it. And boom, you have the Megablast. And I might be perpetuating that, buying into it because, you know, I have the shoe. And yeah, I'm gonna sing its praises because it's praiseworthy. The yes but is the price. In the United States, this shoe retails at $225. I'm pretty sure it's 225 pounds or something like 240 euros. I don't know. If you are overseas in Europe or in the UK or in Asia, please price check me on that. Please share what the price of the ASICS Megablast is in your part of the world so we can compare. While I don't like the inflation of shoe prices, I don't know if it is tariff induced or if it is just regular inflation or if it's companies taking advantage of tariffs to just raise their own prices. This is one of the shoes that I am unfortunately willing to pay extra for because it will do everything well, and I do think it's going to last a good while. I know there have been a lot of questions about durability on other reviews. People hear a compliant foam and they think, well, it's going to wear out more quickly. I've run in a lot of shoes and I've run on a lot of midsole compounds, and I am not an expert in the chemistry of midsole compounds, but I can tell from experience when a midsole compound is probably going to last longer than some of its other competitors. And I can't say for sure whether this will last as long as a TPEE like Light Strike Pro, the older version of Light Strike Pro, but I think it will last longer than Zoom X. I think it will last longer than a lot of softer PIBA compounds. I think it will last as long as most other ATPU compounds. And I don't know if it will last longer than Flight Foam Turbo Plus, which is a firmer PIBA compound. That's what's in the Superblast too. But I think I'm going to get my money's worth out of this shoe, mainly because I enjoy running in it in all types of runs. Next week I have the Blue Ridge Relay, and I have about 36 miles of running, 35.8 miles of running, and about 4,000 feet of elevation gain with that. Some of those legs are very hard. I'll have a lot of ups and downs. I will be wearing some super shoes for that, but for some of those I might be wearing this because this will have the leg saving properties that will allow me to still perform later in that relay, because we are on an Ultra Masters team and we'll be going for the Ultra Masters record. So I really want to have my legs saved for that. Anyway, ASICS Megablast. I don't really have anything bad to say about it except for the price. If you have any questions about it, because I may not have, I've just been saying it's great but not really talking too much about the specifics, put them in the comments and I will answer them as best I can. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, and we will see you on the next run.